Breaking news. Rivers State is on fire. Governor Fubara is daring to Nyesom Wike's political godfatherism, and Nigerians are saying enough is enough. But wait, Wike must remember his own past with Duyadiri. Will history repeat itself? Rufai Oseni and other analysts are speaking out. Is this the fall of Wike's empire? Stay tuned, because this is political war.
What is all this do about it?
All right, the reactions are continuing to trail this plenary session. I mean, a lot of people have said that basically Wike has declared himself as the godfather of River State. I think I also heard you say that early this morning during the newspaper headlines. But that's the rhetoric, and that's the way he's, postulating, portraying himself at this moment. But meanwhile, we've seen an old video following these reactions, which has resurfaced online, showing Nyesom Wike accusing his predecessor, Rotimi Amechi, of abuse of power and destabilizing the River State government. Let's take a look.
Today, you can see his comments. So it is not in his place to decide. And it is that impunity, that godfatherism he wants to play. It is his impunity. He will decide everything that happens. You will decide for your party. You will also decide for the entire River State. This state gave you governor for 80 years. Under this state, he became a minister. Is that the thank you give to the state for making you whom you are, for bringing you up to this level? Instead of it to see how you can have peace in your state, make your state of development. Each day you wake up is to cast aspersion on your state. That is not good. It is no person that has the sense will continue to do that, because I believe. What do I gain? What do I gain as a person if I destroy my state? Of what benefit is it to me?
Of what benefit? I mean, that was, Vimba, you saw that. I mean, he appeared really angry at the moment. And it was the one that did that song. As they sweet us, he go they pay them. As they sweet us, he go. I mean, this was what was going on at the time. And you are here also giving the same impression that you are a godfather. And this is not what we need, the Rivers people need at this moment. Well, also during the media parley, Wike accused Bayelsa State Governor Doyo Diri of lacking character for organizing a South-South zonal political leaders meeting without inviting him and other National Assembly members. Wike suggested that Governor Diri is working in collaboration with Sim Fubara, adding that Diri once knelt before him to seek support. Let's take a look.
This Diri they are talking now, Governor Diri. That's why when you put people in power. Go and ask the Minister of Petroleum. He brought Governor Diri to me in Wisconsin, where I was staying. This governor you are talking now, that's why when I look at people, I say character is something you cannot buy.
Absolutely, character is something you cannot buy. Well, in May 2022, Wike visited Governor Doyo Diri at the government house in Yenagoa to seek support ahead of the People's Democratic Party's presidential congress, where Atiku Abubakar later emerged as the party's candidate for the 2023 election. Our correspondent, Ovieteme George, covered that meeting. Let's take a look.
I formally come to hand over myself to my brother. If I fail, he's the one. If I win, he's the one. Because he should be the one taking me round everywhere. Because what would people say? What would people say if he's not the one taking me round? What would people say? The whole world knows. Rivers people know. Bayelsas know. If anything happens to me, I fail. Hold him. Hold him. And if we win, he should take it. And that is the truth of the matter. I'm not coming here to play politics. I'm coming here to tell you the simple truth and nothing but the truth. As I speak to you, the moment you make a pronouncement today, everything is over. Everything is over.
The internet never.
This game called politics.
This life.
I think it was somebody that said, if you want to know the man,
yes,
that your mother dated before she met your father. Go and do politics.
No, don't.
If you want to know the person,
yes.
go and do politics. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
When it doesn't fit the bill for them, they say things. All I just want Nyesom Wike to do is, please, he who alleges must prove. He must show us with empirical proof the picture where Doye Diri was kneeling down for him to beg him for this power. That's just it. Secondly, see, the case of godfatherism in this country is a very long line. At some point in Oyo State, we had the likes of the Adedibu. But at some point, once Adedibu died, Molete stopped being the seat of power in Oyo State. We can even go back historically. There's been many godfathers. Dr. Abadi talked about the Wild Wild West. We remember the factionalization of the AG, Akitola and Awolowo. Godfathers will come, they will go. At some point, Wike got a lot of support because he was fighting godfathers. He too has become godfathers to Fubara.
That's it.
We've always also mooted the idea that in a case if Fubara is successful in this fight, he too will probably become, because it's the game they play. This is never about the interests of the Rivers people. Take that out. As regards that video being shown, yes, Fubara also need to answer. Because till today, we don't know how all of a sudden the National State House of Assembly was bombed in Rivers.
Bombed.
And the next thing we heard that they are coming to demolish so that they will not be able to sit. So he also needs to answer for that. Just like we are also saying that Mr. Wike too should answer with all that he's doing with these 27 lawmakers. And you see, once people gain advantage, they use it to their own benefit. But in all of this, I'm very shocked that they are drawing us into their wahala. Because when Fubara and Wike were agreeing, we were not there.
Right.
When they were using each other, we were not there. Now it's a fight over the resource and the state in general, or the supremacy in the state. They are pulling all of us in. The last point I'll make before I leave it out is this. Like I said before, Fubara should watch it. It might be on its way to impeachment. I'm not seeing this fight ending just like that. Mr. Wike has gotten the upper hand with the courts, and a man that can get a Supreme Court judgment, Dr. Abati, like you were saying, is not that easy. Yes, I know, by the Constitution and the law, it's not that easy. But a man that has gotten a Supreme Court judgment, that the 27 lawmakers are in his hands today, when he decides to make his move at impeachment, we will all be here, we will all analyze it. By that time, if the judge chooses not to play ball, he will now see who the godfather is in the state.
All right.
I'm not happy calling one man the godfather in a democracy, but that's the way we have made our democracy. Except we change it, nothing will work.
I think, Bimba, you want to make a sentence about the godfather
just
issue.
very,
I
very
heard
quickly.
You.
You know, internationally, we're seeing a case study for the laws of power playing out. Number one, with international relations, they say there's always permanent interests, but there are no permanent friends. And what we've seen there is that in full display through the timeline of Nyesom Wike's career. That's number one. Number two, on Sim Fubara's side, is they didn't teach him the law that if you're going to fight someone, you need to fight somebody to win. When you choose to pick a fight, you need to ensure that you can win, because a partial defeat, a partial victory is more dangerous than a defeat. So I think in all of this, none of them really played initially, Fubara did not play his cards right. He started so aggressively, demolishing buildings, this. And then somewhere down the line, he has seemed to have lost momentum in this fight, because this was a declaration of war, as far as I'm concerned. Now he's lost momentum, but with regards to the godfatherism and, the relationships between power broking and all of that, I think it will always exist in every system. However, what Nyesom Wike is showing us is how deep it is in this particular system. And it's such it's so indicting for the people what people go through to vote every 4 years it's painful, it's strenuous. You hear all of the stories just to know that, somebody was handpicked and then one or two things happened and, I can make you, I can break you.
Right. I mean, Dr. Martin, before I come to you, should I play this song that was been trending? I mean, basically, it just came during this moment. I mean, it was last year. Fubara must obey Wike's song. Let's pull that up before I come to you, Dr. Abati. That was the song that was trending at the time when that whole incident occurred, and now it has resurfaced, and the new song is in River State.
Well, it was Karl Marx that first said, history repeats itself.
Absolutely.
First as a tragedy, second as farce. What we're seeing in River State is that history is building up before our very eyes as a tragedy and also as a farce at the same time. A tragedy, in part, because of the kind of behavior that you have seen on the part of some of the people. Those people dancing Fubara must obey Wike. That's very tragic for democracy.
I've never seen anything.
These are the same Rivers people, a segment of that population that we keep fighting for, saying that they are the ones who will be shortchanged. But you will find enough characters in that same state who will say, yes, we are supporting the Godfather against the same person that they claim to have elected into office. What is happening is also farcical because of the back and forth between the parties involved. It was Dr. I think Alabo George is his name, the spokesperson of the House of Assembly, saying, well, Wike is withholding our salaries. Wike demolished our sitting place. Wike, we asked him to bring Fubara demolished our building. Fubara, we asked him to bring his list of commissioners, a fresh list. He has not done so. We asked him to do this, we asked him to do that. He has not done that. Now he is saying we are locking him out. So you have that tit for tat in that place. And it's very unfortunate because, as we have pointed out, it's the people that will be shortchanged. Now, Minister Wike says impeachment is not an issue. Heavens will not fall. Yes, under the Constitution, the only thing that the House of Assembly needs to prove is gross misconduct. And gross misconduct is as they explain it. And the court of law cannot even inquire into what that gross misconduct constitutes. That was why I was saying earlier that it's not automatic, because Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution tells you about the process. If they, raise allegations against the governor, then the chief judge, Honorable Justice Amadi, will be required to set up a panel of 7 who will investigate. Now, that Section 188 says if they cannot prove the allegations, if they don't find sure grounds for the allegations, then the case will not go forward.
Right.
So it's not as if somebody will sit in Abuja and say, if he's impeached, this is stage 1 of the drama. There will be more drama to come from, River State. And then you have on the other side, the IYC and the Ijaw National Congress saying there will be mayhem if anybody tries to impeach Fubara. Now, that leg of that story about impeachment. The second leg of it is Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens, that was his real name. He said history does not repeat itself, but it rhymes. Now, the rhythmical nature of history is the second thing that you pointed out in what he said about Doye Diri.
Yes.
Now, the same Minister Wike that is saying Doye Diri lacks character, when he wanted to be presidential candidate of the PDP. He went to the same Doye Diri to go and solicit his support. But now he says Diri organizes meetings of South leaders. He doesn't invite him because he's supporting Simi Fubara. Do you see the rhyme there? And then on the other hand, the same man who was condemning Amechi,
yes,
saying the people of River State made him minister. Yeah. How can you be minister and you are trying to destroy your own state? The irony. Is it not the same thing that he himself is doing now?
This is the question.
You know, so it's you know, history, we may add, may be very ironic. But I conclude by saying that President Tinubu should take an interest in what is happening in Rivers State, because what is happening there, the clowning, the farce, the tragedy, let it not end up, you know, affecting the larger Nigerian polity. With Ijaw youths and the Ijaw National Council saying that Nigeria will be sabotaged economically. And that was why I made the reference to the Wild Wild West episode in the First Republic.